You forget who you're dealing with, Commandant.
You must think me an idiot.
I cannot help myself. You take guardsmen off the streets to guard carpets, fabrics, and spices pilfered from merchants. Do you have any grasp of the responsibility that rests with you?
Don't teach an old man to piss, sorceress. I've ruled Flotsam for years.
Flotsam is ruled by a fear of Yorveth. That fear rules even you.
I've made my demands perfectly clear.
Like a crying babe deprived of its rattle. In time, Commandant, they'll hang you by the neck from a roadside tree like a regular bandit. And rightly so, for you're no better.
Your time will come too, sorceress. They'll pile kindling at your feet.
Enough. Fear has confused you. Think over what I said and give your answer before it's too late.
I overheard the Commandant talking to Sheila. I couldn't pinpoint the topic of their conversation, but it seems to me he's angling for something.
We'll see what he has to say.
Here to see the Commandant.
We have business to discuss.
Good luck. He's in a foul mood.
Why?
We'll talk another time, and definitely elsewhere.
Finally!
They didn't want to let me in while the sorceress was here.
Did you see her? Made up like a whore on parade day. They think they can do anything, those sorceresses. I heard what happened in Temeria. You know your name's on a warrant. It's unfortunate, though nothing that should impede our dealings. See, I'm the law round here, and the law needs to know what the legendary White Wolf's doing in this cesspit.
I'm looking for the man responsible for Foltest's death.
Here?
I know the Scoia'tael had a hand in it too. It's their trail I followed to Flotsam.
Lucky you found Bernard Loredo, then. If you're telling the truth, Yorveth's got raw blood on his hands. I can help you find him.
What about Vernon Roach? Why didn't you let him in?
Roach? Know the aura that surrounds him? Men like him act first and think later. And when they act, almost inevitably innocent blood flows. I trust you're on our side.
Whose side is that?
That of the people of Flotsam, of course. Terrorized by the elven bandits for years now.
A local conflict, none of my business.
You killed some elves on the riverbank outside Flotsam.
We were attacked.
You failed to understand.
It's you who doesn't understand, Loredo. To tell you the truth, I'm not human.
You an elf? A dwarf? No, talking bollocks. I piss on the fact that they call you freak for your white hair and glowing eyes. You're a human like any other. We're fighting a war. And you, my friend, cannot straddle the fence.
What about the elves and dwarves in the trading post? The smiths, peddlers, and hunters? They eat with you, sleep among you. Whose side are they on?
Hell if I know. That's my point, Witcher. When you fight for survival, you need to be sure who your friends are. The non-humans in Flotsam, sure, they eat, fuck, shit among us. But when Yorveth sounds the battle horns, who knows what they'll do.
I'm surprised they haven't turned on you already.
How so?
The town guards treat non-humans like shit. Frankly, I don't know what keeps them here.
I'll tell you what, Geralt. The hunger they'd face in the forest. But I grant you, those acts of, insubordination need to be stopped. Soldiers are simple men. When you see your mate die, a Scoia'tael arrow in his throat, it's hard to look favourably at the elf who sells your wife coloured kerchiefs. You're a witcher. Your job is to protect the simpletons from monsters. I protect them from the danger that lurks amongst the trees.
I see where this is going.
Yorveth's no better than a monster that attacks those who go out to gather kindling. Matter of fact, he's worse. He's smarter and crueler.
How do we get him?
I don't want you to kill him. Even you don't have a hope against his entire force. I've an idea, but I'd rather not go into it now. The squirrels are up to something. Every night their scouts come closer. I suspect they plan to attack the barge moored in the port.
What's on the barge?
You mean who? Bandits, murderers, rapists. On their way to the dungeons at Drakenborg. As soon as...
Their infamous leader joins them. The cherry on the cake and Bernard Loredo's crown trophy.
Couldn't have put it better myself. As long as Yorveth remains free, humans, elves, and dwarfs will live alongside each other in deep distrust. I've got to learn what the pointy-eared rat is planning.
How am I supposed to get that information?
You underestimate me, Witcher. True, I have my prejudices, but I'm not blinded by them. Take your friend Zoltan, for instance. He contacted Yorveth.
How can Zoltan help if he can't go outside the walls?
Step by step, Geralt. That's how you build trust. You could start by tending to a problem we have. A beast. The Kairan has blocked all boat traffic. I'm losing tolls. That is, the trading post is losing revenue. Kill the Kairan and I'll declare your friends acquitted of their crimes. Then Zoltan can take you to see Yorveth.
I'm a Witcher. I don't work for free.
Course you don't. Help us capture the Scoia'tael commander, and you'll be rewarded generously, straight from the trading post's treasury.
I'll see what I can find out.
You stir up storms wherever you go. I actually believe you'll bring peace to Flotsam. Don't disappoint this town, Geralt. Farewell. Any news for me, Witcher?
I guess you're finding it hard to get rid of Yorveth.
He's stubborn, it's true, but he's met his match. And I'm not about to leave Flotsam to the same fate as the other towns and villages the Scoia'tael have burnt to the ground. The citizens of Flotsam owe the elves nothing. They built their homes and workshops with their own hands in the wilderness, not on the ruins of an elven town. If need be, we'll remind the Longears where they belong.
You've got a heap of soldiers for such a small trading post.
Bandits swarm to trading routes like flies to shit. Only troops can guarantee some order here. We're the last Temerian outpost in this area, and we'll not give in to a bunch of elves.
Good to see you, Zoltan. What are you doing so far from home?
It's a dog's life, Geralt, I'll tell you that much. You work your fingers to the bone for 6 years, you listen to the tirades of that old tyrant Breckenrig, you buy jewels. Then she breaks off the engagement. And there I was, learning a gavotte. Fuck it. Out of sight, out of mind. Farewell to Eudora, the forge in Novigrad, and all the world's Breckenrigs. I'm a plain merchant, and I've made my peace with that.
How are you killing time in this hellhole?
At present, polishing gems for Sheila de Tanserville. Requires precision, but it's well-paid work.
Jewelry?
Not quite. The sorceress is building a magical contraption. Spends her days staring at it. A regular magpie eyeing a copper. But I don't think she's getting anywhere with it. Got so enraged one time she dashed a vase against the wall. Some temperament, those sorceresses, I'm telling you.
I spoke to the Commandant. The future hardly looks bright for the non-humans in Flotsam.
That fucker's only waiting for an excuse. One small provocation by Yorveth and he'll attack us.
How do you know?
Heard it by chance. Saw him walking through the port one night talking to himself, the batty bastard. He mentioned a new order and a world for humans only. He laughed and shouted curses at the prison barge. The scum is up to something. Yorveth must sense it. He's doing everything not to provoke Loredo, but his Scoia'tael might have a different opinion and less restraint.
Is there a good swordsmith or blacksmith here?
There's a small smithy by the wall. Quite basic. The tools probably remember the conjunction of the spheres, but it'll do for weapon repairs. They also enhance swords with runes and add ornamentation to armor. Just don't do anything that'll make you look like Dandelion at the opening of a new brothel. You could also look in on some merchants. I don't think Loredo's robbed them of everything yet.
How are those biceps holding up, Zoltan?
Hard as a bull's bollocks. Arm wrestling's a dwarven pastime.
We ought to try it sometime.
I'll arm wrestle you anytime. Now, even.
Show me those bull's bollocks, then.
Your hand's like a vice.
It wasn't easy.
If you ever run into my old mates Yarpin or Sheldon, promise me you'll take them on. They'll be surprised.
I tired of witching.
Do you know someone named Cedric?
Know him? We drank each other under the table last Saturday. I barely made it home.
Where do I find him?
Most times gazing at the forest from a tower near Lobendon. Strange bird, that one, but a heavyweight when it comes to drink.
Thanks.
Where might you be going?
What kind of question is that? Anyway, know where I can find an elf named Cedric?
Don't get involved in this.
You did turn pale when we met Sheila.
You must have imagined that.
I know you too well.
Sheila's one of the most powerful sorceresses.
That's no reason to fear her.
She can't be trusted, in my experience. I know her to be devious and manipulative.
Any proof?
She's well aware you lost your memory, yet pretended she didn't know.
And why would she do that?
I don't know. Her true intentions have always been hard to fathom.
I'll see if I can't learn what they are.
How?
I'll go hunting with her, right after I find Cedric.
Well, then let's go see him. He should be at the top of his observation tower.
In Belk. It'll be nearly a year now.
Moril would delight in a day like this, Seherim. Enjoy the memory of her. Don't wallow in the longing.
I try. I do. But I cannot believe all the bad blood this disappearance has bred.
Don't let other Shay poison your memory of her. Hatred is but an outlet for helplessness.
Thank you, Cedric. Vafael.
Vafael.
Are you Cedric?
Who asks?
Geralt of Rivia.
Ah, the Witcher. And?
Triss Marigold.
Lovely scent, Triss.
Cedric, look at me.
What do you want, Geralt of Rivia?
The elf woman you were talking about. How did she disappear?
Seherim believes the forest took her.
What do you believe?
Moril simply vanished, almost a year ago now. Some say she was too beautiful, and Dwan must have harmed her.
You believe that?
If I have no evidence before me, I try to trust my feelings. And they tell me the forest did not take her.
Why would you keep that from Seherim?
Because it's meaningless. Perhaps she was murdered, perhaps she departed on her own, never to return. She's gone, and neither I nor Seherim can reverse that.
Who exactly are you?
One who warns humans against the dangers that lurk in the forest.
Care to clarify?
I am old, even for an elf. Yet the forest is older. I've lived in it for years and understand it, though it's nothing I can explain. At times I make mistakes and people don't come home.
So you help humans?
I just know if it's safe to venture beyond the gates or not.
Maybe I'll come back when you're sober.
You witches live a long life. You may indeed get to see that day.
What are the Scoia'tael fighting for?
Do you ask about the old ones, who hoped to restore our race to its previous glory? Or about the young ones, who fight for survival and out of suicidal revenge?
Yorvith's warriors. Which mold do they fit?
They believe they are still independent, and that there is but one just way to view their cause. In truth, however, they're but a shadow of the Enshay's former glory. They cling to delusions to the very moment when a sword or a noose ends their life, or until they realize the truth themselves, which is, I believe, the worst.
I aim to kill the Karen. Heard you might be able to help.
That depends on the sort of aid you seek.
I need information.
We should have killed it years ago. Now I don't know. The beast has become too large for the riverbed, and it has strange growths on its tentacles, extremely thick skin. Previously, it inhabited a swamp along one of the Pontar's tributaries. Completely wild terrain. Even the Scoia'tael don't venture there. You should go see the wreck of the boat it recently sank. Inspect any traces it's left. See the destruction.
Where's this wreck?
Venture south into the forest, then turn east toward the river. You'll find the ruins of a bridge erected long ago by the Enshay. The wreck lies at their foot.
Thanks, Cedric.
I wonder what's left of that wreck Cedric mentioned.
If the Karen attacked the boat, it's not likely to be much. We're looking for traces of the beast, not boats. See those footprints?
Yeah, strange place for an evening walk.
Unless you're looking for adventure.